Hello, good afternoon. This is David Soto talking to you, and today is my weekly trade predictions for the upcoming trading week of October 12th through October 16th, 2020. Okay, and what I like to do right here is I like to look at all the major forex currency pairs on a 30-minute time frame, just so we can see what happened this past week. Okay, and then I will compare that to higher time frames such as the 4-hour, daily, and weekly chart, just to try to give you an idea of what I think is going to happen this coming week. Okay, we'll compare the two time frames. So basically, I want to start with saying that more or less all the prices were in a flat ranging market, which I predicted last week. We did have some slight trends develop, and I will point that out here in a minute. And but overall, we should see more of a continuation of this ranging market this coming week. Okay, so to begin with, when we look at EURUSD, okay, we look at EURUSD right here on a 30-minute chart. We see that the price ended higher than where it began. Okay, so we did have a slight uptrend. Okay, but overall the price was in a flat range market. Okay, the price had come up, hit this point here, back down, and then finally escalated back up to a slightly higher point. Now we're at a pretty strong level of resistance and it should be coming back down. But now let's look at the 4-hour chart and see what it's really going to be doing. Okay, if you look at the 4-hour chart, we have a blue arrow but no red arrow, meaning that we still have a ways to go before it finally hits, the final top. Okay, now with the smaller time frames, look at the 1 hour and 30-minute, they have a strong signal to sell. Okay, but it hasn't really dropped yet. So what I think is going to happen is that in the beginning of Monday, okay, the beginning of the market open, we should see the price go up even further. Okay, so on the smaller time frames, you'll probably see this indicator repaint. I don't know, but I do think it'll go slightly higher and then finally come back down. If we look at the daily chart, look at this. The daily chart has a red arrow, okay, and no blue arrow. So long term, this is going to be dropping in the coming weeks. If we look at the weekly chart as well, we see the same thing. Okay, it's already starting to form a downtrend. Now it had dropped and it escalated back up, which is fine. Okay, that's how forex works. But now we're nearing a strong level of resistance, and it should be dropping back down. So the bigger time frames show the sell. Okay, so meaning that in the coming weeks, the coming months, this will be dropping. Okay, in the short term, it might go up a little bit, but in the long term, we want to sell. Okay, now we go to the 4-hour chart. Like I said, we have, I feel like it's a fairly strong level of resistance, but it should go up slightly higher. How high will it go? I cannot tell you, but I want to look at another level of resistance. Maybe right here is a resistance. So I don't know. It might go that high. I don't think it's going to go that much further. Maybe 100 points, and before it finally comes back down. So either way, what I would do this week if I was you, I would put your charts on a 30-minute time frame and then trade from arrow to arrow. Okay, so if I go to the 30-minute chart, look at this. Okay, if you buy on the blue arrow and close on the red arrow, you'd have a good profit. Okay, and vice versa. You sell here, close here, buy here, close here. Okay, now is the time to sell. Okay, but with this being the weekend and Monday coming, I would wait a few hours after market open on Monday before I place a sell trade, because I have a strong feeling that it's probably going to go up a little bit more. Okay, so definitely you want to wait a few hours, probably 5 or 6 hours even, before you place a sell trade. Okay, now once you place a sell trade, you can close it on the next blue arrow. Okay, and just repeat the process. Okay, when you get the next blue arrow, wait. Okay, wait a few hours before you place the next trade. Okay, just to make sure the indicator doesn't repaint. All right, so that's my scenario. We should see more of a flat range market this week, and you should be able to both buy and sell. All right, now if we look at GBPUSD, the next on the list, GBPUSD kind of did the same thing. Okay, is a real tight flat range market with not very big movements, but again, you can buy, sell here, close here, buy, close here, and then sell again. All right, doing the same fashion. If we look at the 4-hour chart, we see that we do in fact have a red arrow. Okay, which means that it is a pretty good time to sell. I do think in the beginning of the trade week on Monday, we should see this escalate a little bit higher, slightly higher, just like the EURUSD we saw a minute ago. Okay, if we look at the daily chart, we have a signal to sell. Okay, but now if we look at the weekly chart, we have a signal to buy, but no red arrow. What does that mean? Well, the price had come up to this point before and never formed a red arrow, but it did come to the same place that it was previously. Okay, the reason it did not form a red arrow here was because the price did not go to the exact same spot as before. Okay, it was slightly lower, but still that's a very strong resistance right here. So yes, in the coming weeks this will be dropping. Okay, so again, put your charts on a 30-minute time frame and you can trade from arrow to arrow. Okay, wait. This is a fresh signal you see right here on a 30-minute time frame. So you want to wait a few hours before you place another sell trade. Okay, and then you can close it on the blue arrow and repeat the process. All right, moving on to AUD USD. Okay, again, we see the price went higher than where it began, but more or less it's in a kind of a flat range market, moving in a sideways fashion. Okay, with no major trends, but right now we see the price had dipped down and went right back up to the same resistance. So we're kind of at a pretty strong resistance right now. But if we look at the 4-hour chart, again we have a blue arrow but no red arrow. Okay, so in the beginning of the week I do expect this to go slightly higher and should form a red arrow on the 4-hour chart. Okay, no guarantee. If we look at the daily chart, again it shows the sell. If we look at the weekly chart, it shows the sell. So we know in the coming weeks this will be dropping. Okay, so definitely get ready to sell. Like you go to the 1-hour chart or the 30-minute chart, and we see that it's definitely getting ready to sell. So what you want to do this week, okay, like I've already stated, wait a few hours at the market open on Monday, and then you can go ahead and place a sell trade and then close it when you get the next buy signal, and just repeat that process. So for this week, it would be safe to buy and sell both. Okay, and moving on to USD Swiss Franc. Okay, now if the euro had been going up, pound had been going up, Australian dollar had been going up, US dollar is going to do the opposite. Okay, and you can see here that US dollar did in fact tank a bit. It dropped, and the price ended a lot lower than where it began. If we look right here down there, you're looking about 700 800 pips drop. Okay, so that is not too significant, but still a pretty decent drop. But now we see the price has hit a pretty strong support right here, and should be going back up. Now if we look here at the 4-hour chart, this is the thing that kind of bothers me, but we just saw this on the previous examples where the price had not formed a red arrow on the 4-hour chart. Now this one has not formed a blue arrow on the 4-hour chart, and what I think is going to happen, and this is just me, I think the price is going to dip down a little bit lower come Monday. Okay, when the market opens Monday, we should see this drop yet even lower. Okay, we are at a pretty strong support right now, and this will be going back up. So if we look at the daily, let me look at the daily real quick. Daily shows to go up, and the weekly shows to go up as well. So yes, long term this will be going up. Okay, so right now the dollar is in a little bit of a slump, but that's okay, it will rebound. And what I would do if I was you, I would just put charts on a 30-minute time frame, and again trade from arrow to arrow. Okay, so right now is a pretty decent time to buy, although like I said, it might drop down some more. So I would probably wait about 5 or 6 hours after market open on Monday before I place a buy trade. Okay, and then once you place a trade, you can close that on the next red arrow, and you'll be perfectly fine. Okay, and then just repeat that process. Okay, and then moving on to US dollar Japanese yen, we see again the price was in a pretty much a flat range of market. Now this one, the price ended almost exactly where it began. So this movement is a lot different than what we had just saw, but then again, US dollar Japanese yen is always a lot different anyhow. So we see here that the price hit a pretty strong support, although this blue arrow was lower than this blue arrow. So there's a chance that it could drop even more at the beginning of the open on Monday. Okay, now let's look at the 4-hour chart. Here's the thing, here's the deal. All right, the 4-hour chart shows the drop even more. Okay, we see right here that we have a support line right here on this candle. So that is kind of what I'm guessing. Okay, I think the price is going to drop even more in the beginning on Monday, and it should form a blue arrow here and then go back up, and you'd be good for a long-term buy. If you look at the daily chart, okay, the daily chart shows to go up, and the weekly chart as well. Okay, so we have some very strong signals to buy on the higher time frames. All right, the 4-hour is really not a big concern because soon it's going to reverse and go back up. So again, all you need to do is put your charts on a 30-minute time frame, and you can trade from arrow to arrow. Okay, just as we had already spoke about. So in the beginning of the week, you want to wait a few hours, probably 5 or 6 hours before you place a trade. Okay, before you place that buy trade, and then close it when you get the next red arrow. Okay, and just repeat that process. All right, very, very simple. We can both buy and sell this week, and the good thing is you don't have to be glued to your computer constantly. Okay, you can place a trade and come back and check it, you know, 5 or 6 hours later or whatever. You don't have to be, you know, constantly looking at this. Now, if we look at US dollar, Canadian dollar, okay, USDCAD, we see the price did in fact drop quite a bit this past week. Okay, and how much was that? About over 1,600 pips. So that's a pretty decent drop, and we had a nice steady downtrend from the middle of the week all the way to the end of the week. And like I always say, Wednesdays, for some reason, Wednesdays are always a good day for reversals. I don't know why, but we definitely see the price that dipped down, and looks like it hit a pretty strong support now. So it should be going back up. Now let's look at the 4-hour chart and see what's going on here. The 4-hour chart does in fact have a buy signal, so that means that we did hit a pretty strong support. Okay, and I feel very strongly that this will be going back up. If you look at the daily chart, we have a signal to buy, and the weekly chart as well. Now, weekly chart does not have a blue arrow, but it did hit a pretty strong level of support right in here. Okay, it did not form a blue arrow simply because it did not hit this same support that it hit before, but it is a pretty strong support and should be escalating back up. Okay, so think in the back of your mind that we need to buy. Okay, now what I would do for you is I would put your charts on a 30-minute time frame, and honestly I'd be looking to buy only. Okay, you can both buy and sell. I don't see any reason why not, but the fact that this is heading into an uptrend, I'll be looking to buy only. That's just me. Okay, take it as you will. All right, so this is probably the only one I would recommend to buy only. So anyhow, that concludes my weekly trade predictions. If you have any other currency pair that you want me to examine, I'm more than happy to. Just please contact me on Facebook. There's a link below in the description of this video for my personal Facebook. Please contact me there first. Also, there is a link for my private Facebook group, and you can request to join my Facebook group. Post any questions or comments in my Facebook group. This way, myself and other traders, we can all assist you and collaborate as a team. Okay, so anyhow, I look forward to your success this week. Please let me know if I can help you. Thank you.